snacks? What it do, snackers and snack guests? Loading Snacks Weekly.
Yo, yo.
Your boy Gage, your man Jokes, your dude, what's your name?
Sin.
Tell them all.
Yeah.
This is where we get together once a week and talk about things that are happening in pop culture. And this week we're talking about Star Wars.
Hey.
So Star Wars Celebration happened last week.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot. Can I tell y'all something, man? Like, Star Wars Celebration been going on for a while now.
It has.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never really wanted to go. I'm gonna tell you this. I like Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I like it. I understand it. I dig the lore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Jedi, Sith, all of that jazz. I get it. I'm with it. Okay? But I'm not a huge Star Wars fan.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm not into like all the different names of the ships. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know the Millennium Falcon. Like, I know the shit. I know a Y-Wing and a B-Wing and an X-Wing and all that kind of stuff, right? I know what TIE fighters are. Like, I get it. Like, I'm in there. But, like, people get into that, like, that super obscure. Like, let me put it this way. I don't know Star Wars the way I know comics. Or comic books. Or video games. Or whatever, right? Like, it's not my major fandom. And I feel like part of the reason for that is because Star Wars wasn't made for me. Like, I don't know if it's just like, it's totally possible, this might go over your head, but it's totally possible that I liked The Last Starfighter better than Star Wars. Totally possible that I liked Enemy Mine. Nah, not Enemy Mine, which is dope. Totally possible I like you know what Last Starfighter is?
I feel like I've seen it, but that's been a very long time.
It would have been a very long time, I'm sure.
One. You don't know about The Last Starfighter.
I know.
No.
I said I was gonna go over his head.
This is something.
I was letting him see if he like.
No,
he might
I'm pretty
surprise.
sure this is something that I watched with either my mom or dad.
Okay, so
a long time ago.
very quick in less than 30 seconds. What's The Last Starfighter? Gotcha. Okay, so Last Starfighter better than Star. I enjoyed the hell out of Last Starfighter.
Sure.
Cult classic growing up.
I'm
one of my joints.
Yeah.
But
I probably watched it more than I watched Star Wars. I'm gonna just be.
I got you.
Yeah, like in that.
Definitely the opposite for me. Like Star Wars through and through.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, don't listen.
But Starfighter was one of my.
Don't get me wrong, right?
Go-to,
like,
yeah.
okay, Star Wars. You know planets?
Yeah.
I know planets.
Yeah, no planets.
Some.
Yeah, no planets.
I know.
Yeah.
Important ones.
I know Jakku and Tatooine. I know Endor. Like, I know some planets. What do you know? What else? What do you know?
Besides planets and shit.
Nah, what planets do you know? Like, what do you know?
Planets. Look, right now, don't ask me. But
Oh, you blame it on that.
But-
You blame it on that. Because if I ask you about Dragon Ball and anime, it won't matter.
no, it won't matter.
No, it won't.
I'm trying to be honest. It will matter.
I'm okay.
I'm just being fair. Yeah, planet ships. I know the ones for like the movies and stuff like that. Like if we're going, all right, if we're going outside
Of the movies.
of the movies, I would love to know more. It's just time and all that kind of stuff. But like, I'm all about that world and that universe. I love it. But I don't. Yeah, we're going outside of what the movies is. That's when, or the Clone Wars show, like stuff like that. Like it gets shaky. Straight up, it does. Not that I don't like it. I just.
It's not that I don't like it.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
just
saying.
haven't-
I dig it.
Especially now that all the lore has been reset. Like none of that stuff matters anymore. Like,
Yeah, but like, even for the stuff that is still canon. But listen, let me tell you something.
I was like, listen, Linda. Listen. You about to call me Linda? Like, listen.
Alright, look, Linda. Okay, so Star Wars Celebration. Listen. Okay, Star Wars Celebration was cool. There was a lot of stuff that was there.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird fandom for me. Like I'm in there, but not like, you know, it's one of them things where like you think you're a fan until you go, until you go to like celebration.
Like, yeah, I'm a fan. I know it in this. What? Then can you speak the such and such language? What?
Yeah, nah, like I'm not.
I speak a thorough Wookiee.
What's the name for people who are big Star Wars fans? Like
Trekkie on that side.
You know, that's a good question. I don't know.
Is there one?
I feel like there should be.
I agree, but I don't know if there is one.
Interesting.
Let's Google that one.
Warsians. So we finally got a teaser trailer for episode 9.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Rise of Skywalker. Neither of you are happy with the name.
Not even a little bit.
Can you please vocalize for the people where your feelings are on it and why?
So, what I'm with the Rise of Skywalker, the question raises, of course, is Skywalker and which Skywalker they're talking about. Like,
does it matter?
The reason I guess the whole entire time, I didn't want it to Rey end up being a Skywalker. I almost felt like that was going to be a cop-out. That she was just going to end up being a Skywalker. Like, I feel like the way that I wanted her to be some new character. You know, I wanted to have some type of lineage or something involved in there. But we've had the conversation where, you know, Jedi aren't supposed to, you know, have children, be together with other people. So it's kind of like, well, and then Obi-Wan, she's probably not the parent. But then at the same time, it's like, well, then how can really Luke? Whole another thing there. But, I don't know. I feel it's okay in the sense that, hey, this is the last of the Skywalker. You know what? I'm like, okay, you know what? I understand that. That makes sense. But I don't want her to end up coming out here and being a Skywalker. I don't know. That's just me.
Okay.
For me, this is the first time in my life that I can vividly remember that the trailer did not give me goosebumps, didn't make me feel anything whatsoever watching it. Like I was telling you, for the beginning, I thought it was a fan-made trailer. Like going into it, like it just didn't do anything. And then at the end, seeing the title, I hate the title. I absolutely hate that somebody's name is in it, Skywalker. I don't like that. It just feels wrong and off for me personally. Like all the other ones have not had anybody's name in it. It's been Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens, Empire Strikes Back, such and such and such and such. And nobody's name has been tied to that particular movie. I feel like tying it to it it's going to make you, when you go down to sit and watch it, you're going to be looking and pay attention for everything Skywalker and not just the movie in general. Like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to put it all together, but that's just my feeling going into it, how I felt. Like, I absolutely hate the title. Period. And like I said, the teaser didn't do nothing for me. I'm willing to hold off till I see a full trailer, a full actual joint.
It was a teaser.
Right now,
I was okay with the teaser. Like, honestly, I thought it did what it needed to. You know what? Yep. We saw all the heroes. The big, if y'all haven't seen the trailer, biggest thing for me is when that laugh happened. Mm-hmm. And if you guys don't know, it is Sidious. Mm-hmm. That was complete left field for me. Like, somehow I always felt, you know what, they've been talking about Vader and all this. How is Palpatine going to end up being like? I figured they do like some backstory or something. I didn't think we were actually going to see. Now they don't reveal, you know, exactly how or he's going to come back. Like, he could just be a force projection, kind of like what they did in the other movies. But to me, that was a big thing.
I mean, you know, here's the thing. I think that the title, I mean, there's a lot to a title. Mm-hmm. The fact that there's a name in the title doesn't bother me at all. Mm-hmm. I've never really considered, I've never even thought about the fact that, like, oh, the rest of them don't have a name in them. Like, that doesn't matter at all.
It's the thing, I honestly didn't until they put the title on the screen and I realized I hated it.
Right.
And I thought about why. Right. Like, none of them have ever had a character's name in the title. Like,
I don't really think that matters. I think, here's the thing. Every title for each of the Star Wars films has really more or less been a perfect title for what happens in that film.
True.
Okay? Most certainly.
True.
And when I look at the big picture, the idea of a title being The Rise of a Skywalker as the last movie in a trilogy that is the last trilogy, the last of a set of trilogies, right? The odd thing about it is, once they added in the prequel films, what you really see in the prequel films is the fall of Skywalker. You know what I mean? Like, you see Anakin come up and come down. By the end of it, you know what I mean? He comes up and he comes down. The original trilogy, you do see the comeuppance, right? But at the beginning of this trilogy, he's down. He's at the lowest point. You know what I mean? Like, I became a legend, you know what I mean? And then I let that get to me. You know what I mean? Or whatever. The idea of legends was too much to bear, because then people start to put, this additional pressure. And I decided to open a school, and I failed, right? And that bloodline that is still his bloodline is part of the reason why that happened, right? And so you can call him Ben Solo if you want to, but keep in mind that dude's a Skywalker. Period. And it could be his rise.
It could be.
Because he is rising. Like, at the end of the last movie,
he's now the the leader, supreme. I don't know what the leader. Yeah,
he's the supreme leader. He killed Snoke, who was the supreme leader. He's now the supreme leader, and his plan was for him and Rey to rule
together.
And she's like, nah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm out. So whether this is a rise for him, a rise for her, whether it has something to do with Luke, whether it has something to do with Leia, you know what I mean? Whether it's about just, I think the idea of putting an end to this legacy, this series of films that have really circulated around the Skywalkers, and really, in this set of movies, look, to have the first film make you feel like she must be one of them. Right? Only to have the second film take that away from you. Right? And then it's kind of like, well then, what is it about? Because this entire set of movies is all supposed to be about the Skywalkers. So you have to, you kind of have to bring that back. You know what I mean? At the end, so that you can put a definitive end on it. And for me, there's something that I actually like the fact that they put the name on it. Because what I feel like that does is that puts a stamp on it. These movies are their own thing. Yes, there are films that exist that take place between them that aren't parts of the trilogies, but those are encased in here. And as Disney, we own Lucas, and you will still get Star Wars, but we're not going to keep trying to tell you Skywalker stories. We're going to tell you stories about Jedi that existed before them. We're going to continue and tell you about Jedi that came after, people that Rey trained, or, whatever it is. We're going to put this whole Star Wars land. We're going to keep doing cartoons. We're going to keep doing animated features. We're going to do The Mandalorian. We're going to do, you know what I mean? But, like, we're putting a definitive end on this. So that at the end, and hopefully it does actually turn out this way, you get a satisfactory end. This is them. There's a need for them to do with this film what Endgame is doing for that first series of Marvel films. There really is, right? We're 9 films in. So let's put a cap on it. More than that, really, because when you add in Rogue One, when you add in Solo, right? Like, when you add those films in, you're really like 11 films or so in, right? So...
And TV shows, Clone Wars,
sure.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much, but I just mean in terms of the films.
I know.
There's so much, but there's so much other stuff to be told that doesn't have anything to do with. They believe it or not, there were things happening with Jedi that are these great stories that people have talked about that happened before the prequels.
It's an Old Republic.
What up? Yes. You feel me?
Just saying.
Let's put a cap on it. So people can be happy with it or whatever, and we can put that joint on the shelf. People can go back to it and grab it when they need it. But then let's start doing some new. You know what I mean? Let's let's start pulling some new stories in, and let's start writing some more stuff and whatever. And I feel like they need to do that so that they can move on. It's kind of like saying, okay, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 is over.
Mm-hmm.
Time to move on to phase 4. You know what I mean, or whatever. And we need to put a cap on it. That's how I feel about it. And I think putting a name in it helps you understand definitively, like, this is it. So like there's nothing in your mind going, okay, well, when the next joint comes out, it's gonna continue that story. Nah, dog.
That's it.
This like this is
Skywalker's come. He's done what he's needed, or she, whoever it needs to be, is done what they need it done.
Or they.
And move on. Or they. Because I mean,
like,
they've said they think that Hayden Christensen is going to make some type of
that's disgusting.
cameo in here. I don't know. I mean,
that's disgusting.
Force projection. I don't know. I still hate it when they edit that into Return of the Jedi.
I'm over it.
I hate that.
I don't see. That's the kind of, like, I'm not that kind of fan. Like, I'm over it. I'm good. Go ahead, add a computer animation to it. Don't yell at me about the claymation and all that. Like, I'm not. Yeah, I'm cool. Like, people who in, like, the last movie was like, oh my god, it was Yoda and he was a puppet. No, that's disgusting. Don't do that. Don't do that. We don't need to go back. We don't need to go backwards. It's okay, y'all. It's okay. Let it be. We don't need that.
Good, it's okay.
Yeah, like, I mean, it did. It was fine. But, like, I mean, you say what you want. Leaping Yoda, that's my man. He was all over the place.
Oh,
they see what you did.
You see them ETs? You remember that?
What was it?
That in the prequel trilogy,
mm-hmm.
when they're in the big room, when he's addressing all of them, you see, like, the ETs. It's like when they addressing all the different alien races or
whatever.
When
in the Senate or whatever.
Yeah.
CNN for Star Wars.
And the ET families was in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, bruh. You got to brush up, bruh. You was little.
Oh.
You was little when that happened.
I was. That was middle school.
Alright, so listen, what we're going to do now is we're going to wrap the show up, y'all. Y'all tell us how you feel. I mean, how big of a fan are you? What kind of a fan are you? Are you okay with the kind of fans that we are? Would you go to Star Wars Celebration? Have you been? Do you want to go?
Do you like the trailer?
Will you take me?
Do you like the name?
Yeah, like, straight up. How do you feel about it?
Yeah.
Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the ding-a-ling bell so you get notified every time we drop a new video. And then open a new tab and shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks, where you have the opportunity to support us. A couple different tiers in there for people, and we greatly appreciate that support. For those of you who are, you will be named soon. Love y'all. With that, we out. Toodles and loos.